Hi there, everybody. This is Jessica Galloway with the American Space Museum, and we are coming at you with a very special remote edition with our normal Stay Curious host. Marquette is in beautiful Tennessee with Jason Dorfman, astronomer at Mays Mountain Park and Planetarium. I just wanted to make sure that you all knew that we were making sure that this is live for you. And Mark, your cue now. I'm going to throw it over to you, and hopefully it's a good show.
Thank you, Jessica and Marty Winkle, my co-producer and cameraman, for over 18 months of helping you stay curious. And I am at a place that I almost consider hollow ground in my life. This is the observatory at Bays Mountain Park and Planetarium in beautiful Kingsport, Tennessee. And I'm here with Jason Dorfman. Jason, how are you, my friend?
Good to see you again,
I
Mark.
haven't seen you in a few years. Jason, I'm going to have him talk just a little bit about himself, but I just got to say, look at this beautiful Rocktober day here on the 27th. This is Base Mountain, is the name of this mountain behind me. In fact, behind there is some of our country's greatest ammunition reserves are back there at, what do they call that place?
The Holston
Yeah,
Ammunition.
Holston Ammunition
A lot
Depot
of history
there.
there.
A lot of history there, a lot of history at this park. It's celebrating its 50th anniversary. I was part of this planetarium for over 30 years, president of the Astronomy Club many times, and we held many an event out here. So I'm just thrilled that it's a beautiful day that we can bring you Stay Curious here. And welcome to everybody across our Stay Curious world, including uh, Robert Law. Hope you're enjoying your cocktail and your YouTube big screen TV there in Dundee, Scotland. We've got a friend, Dean Salzwedel, who's in New Zealand having
Wow.
brekkie right now, a little breakfast, I'm sure. Ophelia is in Paris. And of course, we got Tom and Mark Usiak. They're two brothers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We're launch photographers, Jason.
Oh, nice.
And they sent us some work of STS 95, John Glenn's mission. We're going to celebrate the anniversary of, I think, the 33rd anniversary to Friday with Triple T. Will be with you, and Jessica will host that. And wanted to mention Dan Vranick is an amateur astronomer in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Watches our show. And Dave Stang's up in Michigan. Hi, Dave. And all of you else out there. I'm having a nice little working vacation here. And but great important part today is to be with my friend Jason Dorfman. And he's got to tell us a little bit about the planetarium, how long he's been here, and how the planetarium world was affected by the pandemic. But first, a little bit about yourself, Jason. Where did you grow up, and how did you get interested in astronomy?
Well, I grew up in California mainly. I've spent a good 35 years of my life out there. And I think my story for a lot of people who love astronomy is kind of similar. You know, you have certain celestial events that you witness that really kind of spark that interest. And of course, visits to the planetarium, the local planetarium. I grew up going up to the Morrison Planetarium up in San Francisco in Golden Gate Park.
Oh, wow.
And their unique hand-built machine that they use there, you know, just quite an iconic star projector, and just, you know, witnessing the night sky in there was always memorable. So that definitely got the interest started.
So you always have had a career path in astronomy?
Yes and no. No, originally I went a whole different route with music and live events, and I did a lot of work, uh, live shows, and working behind the scenes on that. But I always had that interest in astronomy and had the opportunity to kind of go back to school, and so I decided to pursue that other passion, and here I am today, all the way in Tennessee. So.
Well, you've been here. How many years you've been involved in Base Mountain Park Planetarium?
Just celebrated my 15th anniversary this month. Yeah,
I was thinking it was about 10 because I remember when you came on.
Right.
And we sure were glad he did, because he's a very talented person. He's very creative, and that's what tell us a little bit about the planetarium work. Is not just showing kids the stars all the time on there.
Oh, not at all. No.
Tell us about developing these programs and and the outreach you did, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, planetariums were a lot of hands-on people, really. In addition to the star projector, which projects the stars onto the dome, there was a lot of special effects projectors that were all handmade, different things to create aurora and nebula effects and shooting
A lot of
stars.
aluminum
And
foil
a lot of
rolling
aluminum
around lights on a
foil.
box, right? I remember those
Exactly.
good old days.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's changed a little bit now with full dome
A
video.
little bit.
Now
My
we have a
God, the
lot
whole
more.
world has changed with the
Yeah.
push a button and you get the aurora.
Right.
Seriously, I think we made aurora on a rolling,
Yeah, that was one of the ways.
a little
Special
rolling
jars.
motor thing, and you had crinkled up
Yeah.
aluminum foil and projected different colored lights on it,
Yep.
and probably looks as good as that highfalutin stuff.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But no, well, what I was driving at is it's a very creative job. There's a
It
lot.
is
There's a lot
here.
of life
Yeah.
skills that come together. Tell us about some of those.
With the full dome video change, a lot of that hands-on show development has kind of gone away in the planetarium world. But here at Bays Mountain, we actually are show producers. So in addition to providing shows in the theater, we actually spend a lot of our time creating those shows and providing those shows to other theaters all around the world.
So you have to write a script. You have to have a
Yeah.
visual sense. You have to have timing. All those things
Yeah,
go in. You're like
we
like
do
a little
all,
mini producer for
all, yeah,
a
exactly.
film, right?
It is like making a movie. Yeah, all this finding voice talent and doing audio recordings, and writing music and creating visuals. You know, when you look at some of the film credits on those Pixar films, and
They
there's
go on for 10
hundreds and
minutes.
hundreds of people doing all these things, and we have a staff of 5 who's doing a lot of that same kind of work. It takes a lot of work to do it, but it's a lot of fun as
Stay
well.
curious, feels your pain. It was
Yes,
Marty
right.
and me, and we're blessed with Jesse Galloway there behind us. And no, there's more than meets the eye when you put anything out there in the public. And it's plus you have to be factual. All right,
Very.
one little miss. If you say 92 million miles from the sun average, someone's going to say it's 93. You know, so
Right.
there's a lot of fact checking and being right, but also tell us a little bit about astronomy being a fluid science that things are changing.
Yeah,
How you deal with that?
right. I mean, we try and stay up to date with what's going on with new research, and there's a lot of missions with NASA and other space organizations around the world that are constantly going on. So there's always new information coming in, and so we try and incorporate that into our everyday shows so that people keep people up to date on some of the exciting things happening in astronomy.
For example, Jason, we didn't know what Pluto looked like when you were hired in 15
Right.
years ago, and you've probably done a Pluto New Horizons program of that
We
beautiful
did.
world.
Yeah, we have a
We keep
wonderful
saying
program.
Pluto is a planet on Stay Curious. We all agree about that here. It is one of the most dynamic objects in our solar system, bar none. I keep telling you, it's like a nitrogen slushy floating out there, 350 below zero. Nitrogen, I'm breathing this beautiful mountain air today, is like a slushy that you'd buy at a
Oh, it's a
convenience
fascinating
store.
world with
Yeah.
the ice mountains and these incredible plains. Yeah, it's really incredible.
While we're talking about the planetarium, we're going to talk about the park here in just a minute and how unique it is. But our museum was closed for 6 months during COVID in 2020, and we've come back strong. Our beautiful Space Coast has survived very well. Orlando nearby hasn't because it's so, the Disney thing was up and down there, what we call the attractions back
Right.
there. But here in the hollers of these beautiful mountains of Tennessee and so forth, I understand your planetarium was shut down, and that's a bad thing for the kids around here in their education. How'd you deal with that? How's the public reception to the being reopened?
Well, yeah, the reception has been great, especially since during the shutdown, we were actually able to do an upgrade to our theater. We put in some new projectors and some new computer systems that have allowed us to do so much more with the theater. And so we're really excited about that. But yeah, we had to adapt, I think, like everybody. We shut down all the buildings in the park initially. But the great thing about our park is we're a 3,500 acre nature preserve. So it's outdoor and was the real great refuge for people because that was the one thing that we didn't have to worry about. Being outside was no risk, really safe. So we had a lot of people coming up, hiking on our hiking trails and checking out our animal habitats, even though they couldn't get into the planetarium. But on the planetarium astronomy side, so we initially created some little video info kind of topics about astronomy that we put on our YouTube page.
Okay.
And then we eventually developed some new programs as well. We've always had a wonderful, we have a 44-acre lake here at the park. It's the reservoir. It was originally the water supply for the city of Kingsport
Right
back
behind
in the
us
early
back there. It's
1900s.
gorgeous too.
Yeah, and so we've had a wonderful canoe and kayak program in the evenings. And so we just adapted that, made it a little bit later. They get on the water, they get a little bit of evening on the water as the sun is set. And then once it gets nice and dark, I would go out and present a night sky presentation, point out what was up in the current nighttime sky. We had a lot of good response from that, and we're definitely going to keep that program going.
That's fun to do down on the Space Coast. It's the bioluminescence that they have going on these tours, and our museum's trying to hook up. We know a couple people that do that.
Yeah.
Once again, to find the people to help do that, but get that green laser pointing up there at things, huh?
Right.
And people are very amazed at more your green laser than they are
right.
pointing out half of the
time. Yeah.
But of course, all planetariums, we hope that you maybe were turned on to astronomy in a planetarium. I know the first planetarium I saw, believe it was at Findlay, Ohio College. And it was a small little thing. Man, I knew I wanted to help and be involved in that. And I've seen this planetarium grow and change from the old Zeiss projector that looked like a big dumbbell bulb on each in the middle here, so they should show me their new state-of-the-art stuff. It's truly amazing. Even the technical side, they were telling me, is the blacks are blacker now in a planetarium.
Right.
And that's something to get excited about, isn't it, Jason?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
When you can duplicate the black sky against the dark, because sometimes it's hard to make black, isn't it?
Well, I mean, with the night sky, we want that true blackness of space with the background stars. But when you have fold-down video, most video projectors have a certain gray level. And so as you're trying to add more content and information to the program, unfortunately, you're washing out some of that background stars. So with this new system, it has a true black level. And so we're able to have the stars up and they still look bright, and we can put up other visuals and information, and it just really makes the show that much better.
Give a plug to your manufacturer, that new system.
It is Zeiss, yeah.
Zeiss,
out of Germany, yeah. We have a Zeiss system.
Hard to top Zeiss systems.
Yeah, the optics that they do are incredible.
Yeah, for those of you not in the optical telescope and camera world, ZEISS is beyond Cadillac. It's more like Ferrari in a way.
Definitely.
Talking. But your good friend, Derek Demeter, says hi. He's the astronomer and our friend at the museum at the Bueller Planetarium. And before I get on to Derek there, and that, let's show the. Let's talk a little. End our little conversation about this beautiful park. Okay, celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, and I'm proud to say I was here, 35 years ago, and boy, they've done a lot of beautiful things up here. Tell us about the park and its uniqueness as a city-owned park itself. There, Jason.
Yeah, it is. As I said, it's over 3,500 acres. It's the largest city-owned park in Tennessee. And
one of them in the country, too. It's one of the largest.
Well, right, yeah, definitely.
States,
It does rank in there, like 7th or 9th in the country as well, yeah. So we have almost 50 miles of hiking trails. As part of our 50th anniversary, we're adding a trail called a Legacy Trail. That's going to take you up to our fire tower, which is a great attraction.
I've been to the fire tower on that trail.
So we're going to have a new big long trail to get out there.
And stuff.
Right.
We just barely see it up there, right? Or the trees covered up?
It's a little hard to see at this point, yeah.
They still do mountain biking up here, right?
Yeah, we have lots of mountain bikers.
That's a huge thing in Tennessee, mountain bikes. And do you have a zip line?
We do have a zip line as well as an adventure course. We have lots of programs
Not venture course. Would that be like a ninja
No,
course or
not
that
the
hard? Or?
Ninja Warrior
Oh,
type.
okay, all right. Marty, it's not a ninja course up here. I'm going to try out.
No, it's a
All right.
large wood frame structure with
Marty, our
some different
co-producer,
obstacles that
loves
they have to
Ninja
get
Warrior.
through.
Okay.
And it's more of a guided activity, helps build self-esteem and
Oh,
confidence for a lot of people, a lot of different
okay.
groups. And it's a lot of fun too. And it often ends with a nice long zip line ride on our 300-foot zip line. So it's a lot of fun.
It is
Yeah.
beautiful up here. The animals are in their nature preserves. Of course, there's fences that keep them from going out in the road and getting hit. But we're how high up on the mountain?
We're about 1,800 feet.
1,800
Yeah.
feet up here on this mountain, and below it's about 1,200 or
Right down
1,000
as you
in
get
the
down to the
cities
city,
of
right?
Kingsport, Tennessee. It borders Virginia, and then directly east, bordering Virginia, is Bristol, Tennessee. Half of that town's in Virginia. You see that little Geico commercial. He's
Right.
bouncing back and forth in front of the Bristol sign.
Yeah.
But it's also the home of the Bristol Motor Speedway and Dragway of NASCAR and NHRA.
And the birthplace of country music.
Birthplace of country music.
Yeah.
They're eat up with the country music, Jessica and Marty, like we are space. You got better believe it, because A.P. Carter cut the first song down there on State Street, and I've been involved with that celebration many a time. Good to see they brought back the rhythm and roots this year. It was packed and didn't have anyone get sick because of it. But and then I was just going to say the third city in this area they call the Tri-Cities is Johnson City, Tennessee, and that's where East Tennessee State University is, and it's more of the college town and so forth. So you got to, and so it's a, like all places around America, great place. It's kind of merging into one little metropolis, these three cities, but you get your share from all over. And of course, there's counties up in the mountains and hollers and hills all around here.
All around.
And I love it, okay, because I haven't driven on a straight line for a quarter mile yet, Marty. There's a curve somewhere everywhere around here.
Definitely lots of beautiful
drives. But you get your share of the schools,
here.
and also do you have much corporations come up here and want shows from you, or
somewhat. Yeah, a big part of what we do is school programs. I mean, education is really the focus for us here at the park, not only to the public, but to school children. And we get school groups coming from all the surrounding states as well, North Carolina and Virginia, and even as far as Kentucky.
Wow,
and so that's been great. And it's really, a great addition to what they're teaching in the classroom. So it's one thing to kind of sit in the classroom and talk about moon phases and try and do some kind of demonstration, but to be able to bring them into the planetarium and take them out into space and show them the movement of the planets and the moon and the sun, I think, really helps to establish that knowledge in a much better way. Yeah.
He's a great educator. You can hear his passion there, Marty, just like our passion. What's your favorite thing in the sky?
My favorite thing in the sky? Wow, there's so many. I enjoy the winter sky. Orion is one of my favorite constellations.
Yeah. As cliche as that is, I dig what he's saying. You just can't beat it.
Right.
Man. It's like, but they're our friends. The stars we keep telling you. And hope you enjoyed our Stargazer MarQ program on Saturn Monday. If not, go back and look at it on the episodes ahead of time. But it's just they're our friends, and I see the great square of Pegasus tonight rising over, and it's fall, and right behind us coming Gemini, the twins, and
all
Orion,
that winter sky is just
Taurus,
getting ready to come up.
That's what we're talking about. Is they become your guidepost to life almost.
Yeah.
Now you're a musician. What do you play?
Mainly I've played guitar and bass guitar through the years, but I've also done piano and drums and different things.
Have you put some of your music in your shows you've
Actually,
created?
I have, yeah. That was I was able to write some of my first music here for some of our shows.
Now, can we go to the Bays Mountain Park and Planetarium and see those shows? Are they online, or are they just in the house?
No, mostly they're in-house. You can't really access a lot of
bring
those
them out
online.
every once in a while.
But we have that information on our website, and we do have a gift shop here. So, for example, one of the first soundtracks that I did for a show, we made into a CD. It turned out to be really popular.
Wow.
And so you can go online to baysmountain.com and access our gift shop, and you can find lots of wonderful things there, including that CD of my music.
Well, I may go home with that. And seriously, remind me of that. I got a little spending money.
There you
Maybe
go.
play some of it. Get your permission to play it in background and some stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah, so that's been great for me. I mean, as I mentioned, I grew up in California and came out here 15 years ago, and it. I was hoping for something astronomy related. Obviously, it's a lower population area. There's not too much around here, but it just so happened that Bays Mountain Park was looking for a new astronomer and educator for the planetarium, and it turned out to be a great combination for me. Not only did I get to do astronomy, but I got to do this show creation and write some music. And so for me, it was a great melding of all my interests.
well,
And I love nature too. So.
yeah, that people that know me, and you know me, and I've had a writing career and a sales career and photographer and all that. And my astronomy buddies go, "You should have been a planetarium director." And I'm going, "Yeah, I probably could have, but I gone crazy after the 200 third grade class coming in." Not really, folks. I don't mean it in a bad way. That was a career path I probably could have had also. But boy, I'm glad of people like him. I gotta give a shout out to his boss. I think Adam Fans. Adam is doing the 4 o'clock planetarium show, or I'd had Adam out here. And Adam has been the director up here for about 20 some years, and certainly got the chance to visit Adam. Derek Demeter, he says hi to you. I was saying about our relationship with Derek Demeter, the astronomer at the M.O. Buehler Planetarium in Sanford, which is on the campus of Seminole State University there.
Yep.
And there is a group of planetarium association in 9 states in the southern states. They call it the Southeast Planetarium Association, or SEPA. And I've been hearing about SEPA since I came up here to Bays Mountain 30 some years ago. And you are the incoming president of the Southeast Planetarium Association.
I am, yeah.
And we're going to ask you a little about that. That includes Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, North and South Carolina, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Louisiana.
Yeah.
What does that entail? What kind of brotherhood, sisterhood is the SEPA?
I mean, that's a great way to describe it. I mean, there are hundreds of different planetariums throughout the U.S., and there's actually 7 different planetarium organizations that have kind of divided up the U.S. So we're in the Southeastern Planetarium region. And it's just a great way to share information and network with other planetarium professionals. We have an annual conference where we're all able to get together and share ideas. And we have a lot of vendor presentations as well, so we can see where the technology is going, and also communicate with them like what we're really looking for, so they can kind of develop that technology that'll work for us. And so it's just been a great way to meet others in the field and just have that camaraderie. Yeah.
Well, it's quite an honor to be elected the president.
Oh, yeah.
President there.
Yeah.
Is it a 1-2 year term or what?
Well, it's a 6-year term overall because right now I'm president-elect. And then starting in 23, I'll be president for 2 years, and then I'll serve as past president on the council. And we just help, kind of guide
that's
the
a good
missions for
system
the
there,
organization.
because too often even a 2 year you're done, and then you not that you still have ideas, but you now have the leadership to guide the next people, and that's
exactly. Like right now, I'm learning a lot from the president and the past president, and then as past president, you're able to pass that knowledge on and really.
Who are those gentlemen or women? Do I know them?
James Alberry, who's also out of Florida, is the past president right now, and then Liz Klimek is out of South Carolina and Columbia. She's our current president. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, George Fleener. There. Hope George is watching. I don't. George, was he ever president of it? I wonder.
I'm not sure that he was, but he's definitely involved with the organization quite a bit.
In Bradenton and Florida over there, and I post. George has an all-sky camera that we're posting. He caught a good bolide the other day.
Nice.
On there. And we're talking about a camera that goes on 24/7, even during the daytime, to catch meteors coming in, because there's more. You can't look up forever to catch all that stuff. So hi, George, and I'll give you a full report when I come back here from. He's got a home here in Tennessee also.
Yeah, George actually used to work here. So.
Yep, George used to work here. And
before he
then
headed down to
he
Florida.
did work here when I first came here with Mike Chessman, and then George took the directorship down at Bradenton,
Yep.
Florida, down there, and they had a fire, and that kind of ended that for a while. But he's got his own business and doing quite well.
Yep.
What else about SEPA that would our Stay Curious people would like to know? I know what I'd ask you. Of course, you exchange information like any group about products, like is that a good Zeiss projector you're buying or whatever. But do you share programs?
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of sharing as well. We've set up some different ways of sharing content with one another that has been pretty helpful. And we're also have a lot of efforts going on right now to build our membership. So there's a lot of people who work in planetariums who aren't really aware that this organization and organizations like it exist. And so we're reaching out to those new people in the field and trying to bring them in so that they can really become a part of that.
SouthEast Planetarium Association. We're talking to the incoming president, Joseph Dorfman, is the astronomer and assistant planetarium director up here at beautiful Bays Mountain Park and Planetarium, where I've had the help of Jessica Galloway and Marty Winkle to do another episode and help you all stay curious out there. Look at this beautiful, beautiful evening that we're having on top of this mountain in Tennessee. We're in the upper East Tennessee, 100 miles from Knoxville. They talk about being the forgotten part of the state, but nobody forgets it once they see it. We're actually closer to Asheville, North Carolina, than Knoxville. Jason, what are we looking at behind that beautiful big dome back there? What kind of, what's in there?
In the dome,
Yeah.
you mean? So we have two different observatories here. The big dome houses our 8-inch refractor, which is actually owned by Millikan College, which is a local college here in the community. And it's great for looking at the moon and looking at planets. We have a stargazing program normally in the spring and the fall on Saturday nights. And it's really, a great way for people to come out and get to see these things that we talk about inside the planetarium.
It is.
Yeah.
And stargazing anywhere. We're going to start doing that at our museum also. People are asking for it.
Oh, great.
It's a good way to see a telescope before you buy it if you're interested in buying it. But just we have Jupiter is the bright star in the southeast. And to the right of it is a nice bright, not as bright star, but it's a little bit yellowish. Jupiter's gold looking. That's why the ancients called it Jupiter. They didn't know it was the biggest. It was gold that they gave to the king of the gods. Saturn's to its right, and that's brilliant Venus setting behind the sun here in about 2 hours. We'll be looking at it, or wherever you're at, you'll be looking at it. And Venus is reaching its highest point above the horizon this week. And then it'll start dropping down closer to the horizon. About Christmas week, you're going to barely see it. It's going to disappear. In the second week of January, you'll see it pop up in the morning sky as the morning star. And we've had lots of night programs on Venus, and people love hearing about it, and we love promoting that these spacecraft, Jason, that have gone to Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, were all launched from our Cape Canaveral, Cape Kennedy space over there, just a mere 10 miles from our museum.
Wow.
And I can't wait for you to come down and visit us about that.
Great.
We've really enjoyed this conversation with Jason. Is there anything I didn't ask you you'd like to share?
Not that I can think of. I mean, it's just, I think if people are ever in the area, it really is quite a treasure to behold to come up to the park. We do have lots of hiking trails and lots of animals to see. And
it's $5. Yeah. Their big thing is the wolves up here.
Yeah.
They years ago they got some wolves that weren't domestic. They raised it. They got this wolf litter.
We bring in new pups about every 5 years or so, and we raise them here, and they become part of our pack. We have 10 wolves right now.
10 wolves in a pack that roam around in they have a good acreage.
Good big enclosure, yeah. And that's one of the great things about working here. Oftentimes when we pull in the morning, they'll start howling. So it's quite, try not to take it for granted. What a great place it is to work.
I've heard them howl during the full moon too, and the moon's during some of our stargazes.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, it's been great talking to you. It's been too long that I've not been up here at the park, and certainly always enjoy my trip up here. And so happy that we can help show you a little taste of autumn up here in East Tennessee. my adopted home. I spent over 35 years here after growing up in Ohio. But Jason, thank you so much. We wanted to say that tomorrow on Stay Curious, Bart Martindale is going to guest host for me. And you know, Bart is the docent here at the American Space Museum, but he's also a Cape Canaveral docent. And we're working on Bart and Marty to go out to the Cape and bring you some Stay Curious shows from the pads out there. We may tape them and have Jessica do her magic on that.
Wow.
But Bart's going to be my co-host, and we're going to have 94-year-old Bob Graveline. Okay, Bob Graveline is 94. He worked out Cape Canaveral as a young man. He's going to tell you all about the snark-infested waters tomorrow out there of the mighty Snark rocket and all of the other rockets out there. Beaumark is one of my favorites that I've gotten to know out there. But that'll be tomorrow. Bob Graveline is 94. He's very spry. Bart Martindale, thank you for co-hosting. We're going to try to have a show with Bart, bringing on a Cape Canaveral personality every month to help you all stay curious. So until that time tomorrow, on behalf of Jessica and Marty, thank you for all your technical work 700 miles away. On behalf of Jason Dorfman, thank you, sir, for taking your time. Called them up this morning. They were happy to help us always stay curious.
So, thanks for having me as part of your show.
You're welcome. Until tomorrow, I'm Marquette, and we'll see you tomorrow to bridge the space between us.